Hello and welcome to Joanne's Healing Within. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the chakra balance numerology cosmic energy forecast deck, a mother, a wife, and I'm here to help you navigate through 2021 so you can see yourself as the best version of yourself as I see you. So how the hell are you on this amazing Sunday, August 15th? Now, to start off with, I'd like to remind you to share, like, and comment on today's show as there is a raffle giveaway. And I will be announcing last week's raffle giveaway towards the end of the show. So hang in there with me to find out who that is, who won last week's raffle. Let's start off with the business first. We got to get the business out of the way so then we can play the rest of the show, because that's what I think I do anyway. So a big shout out to all of my advertising sponsors, and to name them is Kendrick Greer. He's our astrologer. Right now, he's taking a little hiatus because of some personal stuff that's going on in his life. Like everybody else, we have some major transformations going on. So he's not quite available for astrology readings, but he will be back sometime in September. So meanwhile, I just want to keep him on my list so you guys don't forget about him. Then we have Nick Rafter. He is our real estate agent, also our editor, writer, and journalist. So if you are looking to get that new home, apartment, write an article or two, feel free to reach out to him. Then we have CJ Ives Lopez. She's the host of The Author's Porch, and she's the host of The Author's Porch magazine. So I highly recommend that you reach out. Should you have an article or an ad that you like to get in front of a larger group, reach out to her. Joe Monkman, he's one of my other favorites. He's a shamanic healing practitioner and a wellness advocate. He also offers an amazing program every Wednesday, which I'll be talking about that a little later, but I just wanted to mention it right now so you can pay attention when I say it later. Lisa, and I always say her last name wrong, so forgive me, I'm not going to say it at all. She's the founder and the CEO of A Healthful Life. She's actually going to be my guest next week, and we'll be talking about all things related to health and fitness. Last but not least, my guest for today, Natad Bradbury. He's the founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy. Now, if you've been paying attention to my show week after week after week, hopefully you've been here with me live. If not, you watched us on Roku or YouTube, or come over and check us out on Strong Island. For the last 2 weeks, he's been joining me, and we've been speaking about the feminine and masculine energy. And what exactly is it? Last week's show was all about masculine energy. So if you've missed that, please go and check it out on Roku or YouTube. In fact, I posted early and I put the link on my page. So easy access. And today, when he joins after the commercial break, him and I are going to be chatting about marriage and relationships. Pretty heavy topic, I say. But before we go there, let's chat. Let's chat up a little bit about what's going on today and this week coming. Because I'm all about cosmic energy, and one of the reasons why I'm all about cosmic energy is because I like to help you be informed and understand what you might actually be feeling, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, or all of the above, and why you're feeling it. And I know for myself, since, oh my God, the beginning of 2021, there has been a lot of things going on. And from what I hear from a lot of clients and different people on the street, everyone's feeling something going on. There's a lot of transitioning happening, a lot of the process of things shifting, where what we no longer need is no longer going to be. And that means many of us are transitioning into a different version of who we are. And we can actually thank our planets for this information, for this energy, for this process. And what do I mean by our planets? We have many planets in retrograde. And for those of you who may not know what retrograde actually means, very simple, keeping it light. Retrograde just means that the energy of the planet slows down and appears to go backwards. So what it does is each planet has a specific theme. And based on that theme, the energy that we feel and reflect on. So for example, just to give you the big one, Pluto, which has been retrograde since April 27th and still retrograde right through October 6th, 2021, Pluto is all about demolition, all about breaking things down. It's like, if you ever see those big yellow contracting tractor trailers, I call them, where, you know, they have those lifts and they break up the concrete and everything just goes all over the place. Well, that's what Pluto does. Pluto is literally destroying our foundation. And it's in Capricorn energy. Capricorn is about our achievements, our awards, success, how we feel about our careers. And most of us, if not all of us, are feeling this Pluto energy in reference. We are literally sitting and guessing and asking ourselves, what are we supposed to be doing? What are we supposed to be leaving behind? And where are we going? And that seems to be the big question that many people are asking with Pluto being in retrograde. So because Pluto is in retrograde along with 4 other planets currently, this is giving us energetically a nudge to start shifting things, start changing things, start letting things go that no longer serve. Now, as of this week, we are going to have another planet going retrograde, which is going to make 6 planets in retrograde. And that planet is Uranus. Uranus, everyone calls it something different. And Uranus' theme is called the Awakener. I like to refer to it as the midlife crisis. And why do I refer to it as midlife crisis? Well, I think it says it all. It literally is going to create chaos. And I want to use the word chaos in a more positive way, if that's possible. What I mean by chaos is that if Pluto hasn't literally demolished your foundation just yet, Uranus is going to come in and finish it up for you. So depending on where Uranus is sitting in your natal chart, will give you a theme of what's going to take place over the next, give and take, I believe, something like 6 weeks, because it goes retrograde as of August 18, 19, depending on where your time zone is. And it will stay retrograde right through the end of December. So what do we have, like 8 weeks of that? And in 8 weeks, that's gonna cause a lot of shifting in our mind, body, and spirit. Now, when we think about these 6 planets in retrograde, and each one of them having a specific theme, depending on where it sits on your natal chart, will really help you understand what is going on in your life. Now, if you're not aware of this, which you may not be, some of you might be, who knows, I am currently offering natal readings, astrology readings, where I'm actually sitting with clients and going through the natal chart with them and giving them a better understanding on how to read their natal chart, how to better understand what's going on for them in this specific season. Now, we are currently still in Leo season, and Leo is all about drama, expression, fun, play, romance, and creativity. And we're going to be in Leo season right up until a week from today, as of August 22nd. We're going to be shifting over to Virgo season. So again, depending on where Leo season sits in your specific natal chart, again, gives you the theme to what's going on during this period of time. And I know I keep using the word gives you the theme, and you're probably sitting at the end of your chair trying to figure out, well, what the hell is my theme? Well, that's where you have to reach out to me. That's where you got to reach out to me to find that information out. And you can do that by emailing healingwithin76@gmail.com. And those of you who are watching and email me about this information, remember to mention that you've seen this information on the show today, today's date. And on top of the special rate that I'm offering already, you're going to get a little more special towards it as well. But you got to mention this show for today. If you forget to mention the show, you're not going to get the extra special that's going on. So again, just email healingwithin76@gmail.com. So what I like to do is I like to help you navigate through all this energy. The retrograde that's coming in with Uranus, and because I almost forgot to mention, a week from today, which we'll actually talk about this more next Sunday because it's actually going to take place next Sunday, we have a full moon coming. We have a full moon in Aquarius energy next Sunday. And I believe that full moon is going to be in 29 degrees. And we also had a full moon in Aquarius back in the end of July 25th or 27th. What makes this full moon so damn special? Because it actually is in the same zodiac sign within a matter of 4 weeks. And that very rarely happens. So for those of you who have Aquarius moon, sun, or rising signs, such as me, I have a moon Aquarius. This is all about the humanity, your community, your friendships, and your money. And how do you feel? Because the moon's about how we feel. So my big question to you, or my big request to you, not question, is to really start keeping a journal between today right through next Sunday, and start asking yourself, what would you like this full moon to help you work on in regards to this whole process of the humanity, the community, your friendships, and your money? Because your community is going to help you with your money. It's going to help you either make money or block money, depending on your thought process. So let's see what we have in store with today's card, with today's chakra. And that's going to provide a number which is going to provide a hidden message. Our cards in reverse. So if you know anything about my cards, when a card shows up in reverse, it means two things. A, pay attention to the message I'm about to say. And B, you might be resisting. You might have a block in the sacral energy, or you might feel stuck. So it's all about completion. So with this full moon, it can help you complete. And with these retrogrades, we are definitely in the process of completing something. Something is shifting, and something's going to be very different as we move into 2022. Sacral energy is, what are you ready to create? Because sacral is about what we're birthing. So what are you ready to birth? What are you ready to birth with the help of these retrogrades and the full moon energy? 9. When we think about the number 9, the hidden message here is letting go. You have to be willing to let go of the stuff that no longer serves you. As I mentioned earlier, Pluto is the demolition, the deaths, the transformations, to clearing things out. And that's what Pluto is going to help you do in reference to being in Capricorn energy, in reference to your career. So if your career is not serving you, you might be very much on the way of out the door. So do that before the universe does it for you. And hopefully you've already set out your resumes, or perhaps maybe you're actually stepping into entrepreneurship. Hooray for you, and congratulations if you are. So there is your message for today. Tap in on your sacral energy, work on what it is you are birthing, let go of the things that no longer serve you, because that's the key here. Transformation is definitely on its way with the help of 6 retrogrades. So with all that being said, note on that chakra energy of the sacral, get yourself some water. I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back with my guest.
Hi everyone, I'm Natan Bradbury. I'm a veteran, Kabbalist, mystic, coach, and spiritual mentor. I have been blessed to help many students on their spiritual journey over the last 20 years. I am currently the founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy, and what we're doing is we're helping veterans heal from the inside out, overcome any sort of emotional trauma that they've been through. So if you're a veteran, a therapist, or a coach, and are interested in learning more about our program, you can contact us directly at info@mysticwarrioracademy.com. Blessings.
Hey guys, welcome. We are back on the Author Sports. I am so excited to be here with my co-host Anastasia. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am good. It's so good to see you again. We don't get to see each other very often. We might have to do this every week, right? Tonight we are also talking with, we've got
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, remember, share, like, and comment. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and in a minute, I'll introduce you to my guest, although if you've been watching on a weekly basis, you already know who he is, but we'll still do the introduction in a sec. For those of you who are just tuning in, our card for today is all about completion. I think it's a really appropriate message for today. What are you willing to complete? This chakra to work with today is the sacral energy, which is all about birthing and creating. And very interesting, the sacral works really well with our show today in reference to the feminine and masculine energy. And all those things in between that. So the number 9, the message here is to let go, because we need to transform, and we cannot transform to the better side of us if we are still holding on to things that no longer serve the better side to us, the higher version of ourselves. So that's our message for today. So I would love to know how that resonates with each and every one of you. Please leave your comments below, and of course I'll come back later to answer them. So my guest, my amazing guest, who I've had the pleasure of connecting with for this is the 3rd week, and Natalia and I connect off screen more times than we can possibly imagine. We talk about everything and anything at the weird hours of the night. So Natalia Bradbury, how are you today?
Hi, Joanne. Thank you. Yeah, we do chat quite a bit, both on and off screen, right? Yeah, it's interesting today. The different energies that are kind of going on. Definitely feeling the retrograde of Uranus starting to hit. So yeah, it's been an interesting day so far.
Yes. And those for our viewers, Natalia, if you don't mind, just letting them know who you are, what you do, and why you're here with me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I am Natalia Bradbury. I am the founder, master teacher, and sensei of the Mystic Warrior Academy, and teach about all sorts of things. Everything from the perspective of energy, quantum physics, Kabbalah, you name it, we talk about it.
Yes. And Natalia and I are going to be speaking, as I said earlier, we're going to be speaking about marriage and relationships today. Now, it may sound like it's going to be a heavy topic, but I'm sure him and I are going to make it really light, fun, maybe a little bit of laughs for, hopefully we'll have a little laugh with the Leo season that we have. We're literally a week left of Leo season, and then we'll be moving into Virgo season, very different energy. So let's dive right into our topic, marriage and relationship. How does that all fit into the feminine and the masculine energy?
So it's very interesting, right? I mean, we understand that in this world of duality, right, where everything appears separate, there's actually a great secret that when it comes to Kabbalah and quantum physics is that although things may appear separate, they're actually unified, right? There's an underlying oneness that connects both us as human beings and all things, right? And so I think that, especially when it comes to marriage, right? There's some different ways to look at it. You could look at it as, okay, well, this is a contract, or this is, oh, I love this person and I want to commit to them, right? So there's some different aspects, but I think really what drives it is that sense of partnership, right? The masculine desires to partner with the feminine, and the feminine desires to partner with the masculine, right? And that holds true, again, as I mentioned previously, energy is independent of gender expression, right? So that holds true whether the masculine energy is showing up in a woman or the feminine energy is showing up in a man, right? There is this desire to be connected to form that partnership. And what's very interesting, and a lot of people don't know this, both men and women, but and it's not widely taught outside of Jewish circles, right? And so for some context for our viewers, if you remember, I'm Jewish. I've studied in Shiva and Kabbalah for a long time. So getting back to that, but in Jewish circles, it's very interesting that the blessing of a family comes through the woman, okay? So whatever the man strives to achieve, whatever he accomplishes, he cannot reach his full potential without that feminine partnership.
Interesting. And when you think of it that way, I mean, it makes sense. When you think of it as the marriage, as a partnership, that one, and I don't know if I want to use the word needs, but I guess I will for today. One needs the other in order for the energy to come together, the feminine and the masculine energy to really blend together. And without it, in reference to when the woman tends to feel as though she needs to do everything in the house, where she then takes on more of the masculine energy. And not sits into her feminine energy. So if they can learn how to balance that, and I think last week, I don't know if we talked about this on the show, or if we talked about this off air, but in regards to both parties when they go to work, they're both pretty much in their masculine energy pretty much all day, especially if the woman is an entrepreneur as well, where she's giving orders and delegating, to people what to do. And then they both come home. Now, theoretically, back in the days, a man would come home and step into his feminine energy, because the woman would sort of, I'm gonna use the term here, treat him like a king, and he would come home, clean himself up, get changed, relax before, let's say, dinner. So you'd have that time to move into that feminist space. But now here you have women that are coming home too from a full day of work, and perhaps maybe the last thing she really wants to be doing is coming home, changing her clothes really quickly, and then diving into having to prepare the dinner. So here you have both parties looking to step into their feminine role at the same time. How does that actually work?
Well, and so that's very interesting. Another example that was coming to mind as you were talking about that. So even, for example, the man's, he's working outside the home. The woman decides to stay at home, and they have kids, or, she's taking care of the kids, especially when they're little, right? There's so much work for kids when they're little, right? They need that constant attention and support and whatnot. And so here it is, where at the end of the day, both people are exhausted. Both people have been in their masculine energy all day long. Now what, right? So what my suggestion would be to find a way within that dynamic to support each other, right? So, okay, so the man comes home, does he have the mental capacity to help stay in that masculine energy and allow his wife, right, to move into her feminine energy and rest and relax, right? So, and maybe the solution there is they alternate. Like, okay, one day he comes home, he takes care of everything, she rests, and then the next day it's, right, like it's his turn, quote unquote, right? But there has to be some sort of dynamic that allows both of them to make those shifts. Because if you don't, you're going to be at odds with each other. Then that's going to create resentment, right? And once that resentment starts building.
Yeah. Now, do they need to wait, like have an alternation between every other day, like every day, like, one does it today, the other one does it tomorrow? Or can they actually set up some sort of solution that they can actually do it that same day? How does that work?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because that's the better way to do it. Really, the ideal goal, both for men and women, is to move between their masculine and feminine states throughout the entire day. Because that way your battery stays charged and you're not burnt out by the end of the day, right? So in the first example, for the couple that's working outside the home, okay, well, you're working for, say, 2-3 hours straight, then take a break. Not a lunch break where you're doing things, but an actual break. You shut off your phone, you're meditating, you're resting, you get into that restful state, right? And then you're able to get back out of that restful state, again, get back to the masculine energy, keep working, take another break after another 2 to 3 hours, right? So there should be consistent breaks. And some people, I'm guilty of it, will use their break time to go do other things, right? But you shouldn't. You're missing the point of the break. The point of the break is to allow you to move into that feminine energy, right? And that feminine energy, it's very interesting, as what it does is it creates the polarity between the masculine energy, and just like a battery, it recharges the battery, right? And once the battery is charged to a sufficient level, then you can keep going, right? So that's really the ideal, is to be able to move between those two states.
So my question is regarding that, because what was going on in my head is, okay, what you've mentioned, what I heard you say was taking a break to move into the feminine energy, and literally taking a break. Now, theoretically, if someone's sitting to have lunch, wouldn't that be qualifiable of a somewhat of a break if they're just sitting before they indulge in their food, that they're taking that break? Like, could they do it at that point, or do they really need to, like, dedicate time to say, okay, I'm going to take a 5 or 10 minute break just to do nothing so I can move into that feminine energy of doing nothing.
And that's what I recommend, right? And this is outside of the context of a quote unquote lunch break, because again, living in the corporate world for many years, I understand that most people will take their lunch break. Oh, okay, I got to get this done. I got to go get groceries, or I got to, right? There's more doing. It's very, it takes a lot more effort to stop, rest, relax, take a nap, right? Move into that slower pace. And then you can go back into where you're able to pick up the pace. So, I mean, my suggestion, something I've started implementing is, okay, so I'll take an hour lunch break, right? If I have an hour, I'll take an hour, and I'll take 20, 30 minutes, and that's when I'm eating, so I'm still doing, and then I'll stop and I'll rest, right? And then the rest of that lunch break will be spent meditating or resting or relaxing, right? Mm-hmm. That's, I think, would be helpful. And then by the time you're done with the end of your day, then you're still able to keep going, right? Like your battery is self-charging in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Now, is the only way one can step in their feminine energy is by actually just resting and not doing anything? Or is there other ways that one can be in feminine energy as well?
So and let's, I don't remember if we talked about some of the different aspects of masculine and feminine energy, right? But masculine energy is doing, right? So anytime you're doing something, even talking, having this conversation, right? You're doing.
Yes, we're in our masculine energy.
Exactly. We're absolutely.
So what do we need to do right now to be in our feminine energy?
So right now, if we were to switch to feminine energy, we would take 5 minutes, close our eyes, rest, meditate, and then be able to go back into masculine energy, right? And so, yeah, it's very interesting. But in terms of what other things are feminine energy, right? So feminine energy is the energy of receiving, right? So if someone's giving something to you, if you're in a state where you're trying to think.
How about massage? If I took my lunch break and if theoretically you had an hour lunch break and half hour you go for your lunch and the second half hour you decide to step into a massage parlor and get a 15, 20-minute massage, that's receiving, yes?
That would absolutely be receiving. Yep, that's a perfect example.
See, so that would be great. And I think that's like getting the best of both worlds, because you get your lunch break and then you get a massage and then you go back to work and you're fully rested and productive to do more of the masculine energy.
Yeah, and you know, I was just thinking some of the different types of massages, but even something as simple as like a foot massage, right? Something simple like that, especially if you're on your feet all day. Something, you know, quick, simple, takes a few minutes, some reflexology. Yeah, that'll absolutely help you recharge.
And the reflexology massage is powerful because of all the pressure points in the feet.
Right.
I mean, I would actually think that's a more powerful session than getting let's say a full body massage because of those pressure points.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, and to help release all the tension that one goes through when they are constantly in their masculine energy.
Well, and let's talk about that for a minute too, because what I've noticed is when you're constantly, it's like keeping your foot on the gas pedal, right? When you're constantly going, when you're in that constant masculine state, I've seen things pop up like anxiety, depression, right? Other sorts of emotions kind of come to the surface when you're constantly going, and that's not healthy. Things like that are things that weakens your immune system. It makes you more susceptible to disease, right? So when you're constantly going, like your body can't handle it. It absolutely can't handle it. Not only is it mentally draining, but it's physically draining as well.
Exactly. So it's very important to have that balance between the two, the masculine and feminine energy. Yeah, and I mean, I know for myself, because I am an entrepreneur, it's like that constant, but I also believe for myself, I spend a lot of time in that balance because pretty much in my day is, you know, where I'm doing. And then pretty much in my day is, because I have a couch and you can't see it because it's over on the side, when I'm not doing, I'm sitting on the couch. And if I'm not playing with the phone or doing a live, I'm just sitting, literally staring out a friggin' window. And hopefully my brain is not going, because I would assume that if the brain is going, that means I'm not really in my feminine energy, because my brain is like, blah, 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 blah. So if I learn to slow it down, it brings me into that balance of what we want and what we need.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think too, for men, I think this is really important for the men out there, because I think for women, I'm gonna go on a limb and say this. I think for women have it pretty much down packed in reference to when to rest and the constant go, go, go. I mean, us women get on autopilot as well when we're in intensive like setting up programs or whatever not. But men, on the other hand, have a challenging time during that process of like, I need to just rest.
Right, and I think the reason for that is in terms of how it's categorized or how it's labeled, right? I mean, labels are an energy form, right? And so for a man, resting can be something like watching sports, right? Cracking a beer.
I'm glad you just said that.
Watching sports, right? Because I'm going to be very careful with that, because I know some people are very into their sports teams and they get super amped up, right? But generally speaking, it can be a form of relaxation, right? And so something like that, playing golf, going
So now wait a minute.
Right?
Come back a minute.
Sure.
You just said playing golf.
Can be.
How
can
is
be very
golf?
relaxing.
Because now it's an action. Now they're doing something. How is that stepping into their feminine energy?
Well, if you think about, and I'm not talking mini golf, I'm talking like, actually going out into a driving range, right? If you think about, for man, he needs to have some form of a release, right? If he's going to get rid of this stress or this energy, right, he has to release it somehow. So for him, hitting a golf ball can be a form of release. Hitting a punching bag, right? Going to the gym and hitting a punching bag can be a form of release, right? And so that release enables him to go into that feminine energy.
All right, so I can be clear, and even my viewers, they might be a little confused as well. So theoretically, to move into feminine energy doesn't necessarily mean that the individual has to be completely be still.
Correct.
They're in the process,
Correct.
so they can be doing an activity that doesn't require this massive amount of energy, such as golf for a man. And I'm assuming the same would be for a woman.
Sure. Yeah.
A woman's
absolutely.
If she's gonna play golf, she's gonna have that release too. Yes.
Absolutely. And really what that is, and I'll give you a perfect example from myself, right? So for me, like this morning, I ran 6 miles, right? I love running. It's a huge release for me, right? And as I'm able to release, I don't have all kinds of thoughts going on back and forth in my head. I'm not worried about anything other than running, right? And so that enables me to really step into that feminine state. It's also called the meditative state, right? So any form of meditative experience it allows you to step into that feminine energy.
Okay, so that clears it up then. So it's not necessarily where one needs to be completely relaxed to be in their feminine energy. It just means that they need to be in a space where their brain is not in that overload of thinking and creating stress, whether it's good stress or bad stress. Because, when you're thinking about a project, and I mean, I know for myself, and I'm sure for you, when we're in that space of like creating a project, even though, yes, it's fun, but that could be stressful because it's like, so it's not going to be a more feminine energy.
Right. Right.
But for you, doing a 6 mile run becomes more feminine because it's allowing you to be in that meditative state. So can we say, and be on the safe side to say, that when I do my workouts, it's not a masculine movement, it's actually a feminine, because it allows me to be in a feminine state because I am relaxed. Well, I mean, I can't say I'm relaxing, but I'm not stressed.
Right, and I think that's really, really important to drive home here, right? When it comes to, and let's be very clear, on our daily lives, right, on a daily basis, because there will always be different circumstances that come up that affect us one way or another, right? But when it comes to average everyday living, right, it's to move between the masculine and feminine states. Really what that means is move between a high stress state and a more relaxed state, right? And be able to move back and forth between them. So that relaxed state can be, if you're someone who works out regularly, like you and I, right? We know our routine, we know our workouts. And so for us, it becomes very meditative, right? Someone who's new to it, it's going to be much more intensive.
Yes.
Right. And so I think that's the really differentiating factor is what puts you into that relaxed state, right? So
Exactly.
whatever it is, maybe it's writing, maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's running 6 miles.
Exactly. So if we bring this back into the marriage, into the relationships, in reference to helping, the couple in the household help each other balance off their masculine and feminine energy, what would be some tips that, we'll start with the woman first. When we're done with the woman, we'll take a quick commercial break and then come back and talk about the men. So for the woman, what would be some tips that a woman can help her husband or partner, whomever she's living with, move into feminine energy after spending the entire day in masculine energy?
Okay, so we're talking, what can the woman do for the man?
Yes.
Okay, so for that, well, first of all, acknowledge that we're all human beings. We all have different levels of stress. We all have different experiences in our day, right? And so I think it's very important, and I experienced this a lot in my previous marriages. There was some resentment because, oh, I get to go to work. I don't have to deal with the kids, right? And so that's, do you know the level of stress I have at work, right? Like, it's, and so that's the thing. And I want to kind of level set that expectation of understand and recognize that your partner is a human being, right? They're going to have different emotions, different experiences that they're dealing with, right? And so what I would say for the woman to do for her partner is to create that space, right? Recognize that your partner is a human being, that they also may have had a very difficult day. Maybe they had a great day, maybe they had a difficult day, but create that space, right? Understand that your partner needs that too, right? That they need to move into that relaxed state. And so for a woman, say for example, if she's inside the home, right? She's dealing with little kids all day and it's stressful. My recommendation for her would be try to carve out some time, right? So, okay, so say you have little ones, they go down for a nap, take that time to rest. Don't worry about doing the dishes. Don't worry about doing the laundry. Rest, right? Because it's more important for the woman to be in a good state than it is to have the house sparkling clean, right? Like me personally, I would rather have a happy, healthy, emotionally partner than a perfectly clean house, right? That's, for me, that's what I would choose. Some people may be different, but so my number one tip for the woman, right, would be to, during her day, carve out the time and take the time for yourself, right? You're always doing for others. So take time for yourself to move into that relaxed state, whether it's 5, 10 minutes, 10-minute segments throughout the day, right? And that allows you to come and bring your best self.
Excellent. I love that. And as I said, what we'll do is when we come back from the commercial break, we're going to talk about the tips for men. But before we go on that commercial break, Natalia, I believe you have your flyer in front of you with your information on it that you could share with the audience in reference to how they can reach you.
To be honest, I didn't have an opportunity to do it, but to reach me, you can reach me at info@mysticwarrioracademy.com or go to www.mysticwarrioracademy.com.
Awesome. Awesome. So with that being said, we're going to give everybody a chance to take a few minute rest period. So step into your feminine energy and we'll be right back.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917-863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR@gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly looked through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
There is no one-size-fits-all diet plan, so why would your fitness routine be any different? At A Healthful Life, we believe that fitness and conditioning should be tailored to you, and that's why we're offering a free consultation to anyone who reaches out to us right now. Mention this ad and you'll receive 20% off of your 90-day personalized fitness program. Visit ahealthfullife.org now to begin your journey to a more healthful you. ahealthfullife.org.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest, Todd Bradbury, who is our founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy. We are speaking about marriage and relationships, feminine and masculine energy. We just left off with, before the commercial break, we left off on some tips for women. So I'm going to ask that you do come back and watch, whether you want to watch it on Strong Island Television, Roku, or YouTube. You definitely want to come back and watch to get those tips, because we're going to move into the masculine tips. But before we go there, I want to just give a shout out, just doing something a little different, or at least trying to. I want to give a shout out to all of our viewers, because I do have my phone on today. So we have Bruno, we have David, Rosemary, and Paula. Big thank you all for watching. Remember to share, like, and comment, because then you get an opportunity to winning the raffle. But you got to be in it to win it. So now that we have that out of the way, thank you again for being here with me. So let's talk about how the men can help themselves into being in the feminine energy. So moving out of the masculine, because I guess it's fair to say that we spend a lot of our time in masculine energy and not so much time in feminine. Is that correct?
That would be absolutely correct, right? And I think that's really a product largely of Western culture, right? Where you have to be constantly doing. It's for entrepreneurs, it's the hustle and the grind. For the corporate world, it's punching that clock for 8 hours a day, right? And so with that kind of construct that's really created in society, it's all about doing, right? Doing all day long. And then, okay, well, wait a second. If you keep that pace for too long, you'll burn out, right? As I was using the example earlier of a battery, right? A battery needs to be recharged or it's no longer any good. Same with a human being, right? We are a battery and we need that recharge if we're going to function well.
Exactly. Otherwise we get really cranky.
Cranky, sick. I mean, all kinds of things can really crop up, right?
Yeah, I was trying to keep it just on the normal, just cranky. But yeah, when we get to the point where we have literally overdid our battery, we can get sick, and that creates a lot of issues, with our immune system. But that's a whole nother show. So yeah, so for our men out there, and even for the women, how can women help men, and how can men help themselves move into that feminine energy? So a combination of two questions there: how the women can help and encourage men to move into their feminine energy, and what the men can do even before they get home from work. Because, what was coming to me is like, oh, a man on his way home, he can get in his car, and before he actually starts to drive, he can actually move into feminine energy just by sitting in his car for quiet. Because if he has children at home, chances are he's probably not going to be able to get to do that so quickly. So he might want to take advantage of that before he gets home. Just a little extra tip.
Yeah, and absolutely. I remember what I used to do when my children were younger. They're both teenagers now, right? So it's a different dynamic. But when I was together with my ex-wife and our children were small, right? So some of the things that I would do as a man, I would during my lunch break, right? I would take that time as that's downtime for me. I'm not going to be going out doing, I like to learn, I like to read. So I would spend my time learning, right, during lunch. And then, move back into that masculine energy. And then when I came home, I already knew, okay, well, the kids are young, they're a lot, right? And she's been by herself all day. So let me stay in that masculine energy, help her until they go down. Okay, well, the kids are in bed by 7 o'clock at night. Okay, now you've got the rest of the evening. So some of the different things that I would do, I would go to the gym, right? That would help me relieve all that stress and tension. And boom, you're in a good state. That's one thing that a man can do, right? And I think it really gets back to the dynamic of the marriage being a partnership. It's recognizing each other as a human being, and both of you need that support, right? I'm almost envious a little bit of the families that have the larger extended family, their grandparents and cousins and uncles that can help out so much. When it's just two people, right? You have to be much more cognizant and work that much harder to support the other person.
Yes. And I think too, when the couple can actually really understand and respect that partnership, where the man does come home, and ideally in the woman's mind, if she's been home all day with the children, her mindset is she's looking forward to the husband to come home to sort of relieve her from being, with the kids. So maybe she can, there's so many women I've heard, when my daughter was younger, you would hear women say they didn't have time to even go take a damn shower because they were so busy taking care of the baby, right. And it's like you said earlier, when children are little, they take naps, and the idea is if they're taking a nap, that's a great time for the woman to, if anything, if she wants to go take a bubble bath, child's going to be down for a good half hour to an hour, go take a bubble bath,
right?
And set your alarm for that, 20, 30 minutes, and then get up, and if you need to at that point, go do a thing of laundry, you can. But meanwhile, she's looking forward to the husband coming home or her partner coming home to relieve her a little bit. But also at the same token, she might also be in that mindset okay, you know what? He's been busy working all day. So when he does come home, maybe saying to him, hey, hubby, or however you refer your partner to, you know what, why don't you go take another half hour and situate yourself, settle in, change your clothes, relax, and I'll holler for you in a half hour to come help me again. And have that nice connection where he feels, because I would think that also makes him feel appreciated, because he walked in the door, and rather than the wife right away saying, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need you to do this, his mindset's oh my God, I just walked through the door, because that's what most men do.
Yeah.
And most women do. And it's going back to what you said earlier, that balance between, okay, well, today she did that for me, so tomorrow I'm going to be conscious, and when I walk in the door, I'm going to say to, my partner, you know what, I'm home now, why don't you go do whatever it is you need to do so you can relax.
Right. Yep.
And then, she gets to leave, come away from where she was. Doesn't mean she has to leave the house. Just means she gets to leave the space she's been in all day so she can move into that feminine energy. But I think the key word, like you said, is partnership. It's recognizing the partnership that you have with your partner.
Absolutely. And I unfortunately, I think, as you know, when people initially enter into that relationship, right? Again, level setting expectations. There's certain cultural expectations. There's certain childhood expectations, things they saw that their parents do, right? And those don't always get communicated. And so it's so very, very important for the partners to communicate with each other, like, okay, so these, based on my experiences, based on my cultural background, these are some of the sort of expectations. And if you're really going to truly have that partnership, you have to say, okay, well, based on, can I really meet those expectations? Are those realistic expectations based on who I am? And at that point, okay, well, either you can work together or you can't, right? And
Exactly.
I think it's so important to set that tone early on, so that later on, okay, in terms of expectations, once you have expectations in place, you kind of know what you're working with, right? Like you don't, you remove that unknown quantity, right?
Exactly.
And which can lead to resentment and all sorts of other problems.
Exactly. And also too, just for our viewers who are watching, who basically maybe their children are already out of the house or they don't have any children, all of what we're talking about can also be implemented for you guys as well. It's not just about having the children and relieving your partner from the children. It's implementing this for yourselves as well with no children in the house. So when the partner comes home, you know, and again, I'm assuming at this point, if there's no children in the house, both partners are probably out and about doing their business, you know, whether one is working from home or one is working outside, or for that matter, with everything going on with the pandemic, they might very well both be working from home.
Which can create even more tension.
Exactly. So again, all of what we're talking about here, especially all the tips Nathad has shared, all of this can be implemented for any type of partnership, whether it's a marriage with children or no children, whatever the situation is, it can be implemented. So I love the fact that you shared all that you shared about this today, Nathad. I think it's really, really important. So what we're going to talk about now is our raffle winner from last week. And before we dive into last week's raffle winner, we do have a raffle for this week. So Nathad, what would you like to offer for our winner for today that we're going to announce for next week?
Sure. So today for the raffle winner, for the winner for next week, what we're going to do is a highly detailed, in-depth 15-minute intuitive session, and we can talk about whatever comes up, right? Whether that's something dealing with masculine and feminine energy, or relationships, or whatever it is that you need to discuss.
Excellent. So for all of you who are here watching, remember, share, like, and comment so you can get a chance to win this amazing intensive, and I use the word intensive, 15-minute session with Nathad to talk about whatever shows up. So with that all said, I want to announce our winner from last week's raffle. And I wasn't sure if Nathad gave the raffle or if I'm giving the raffle. So Nathad, did you do it or mine? I can do it.
I don't remember, but I think I did.
Okay, so what was it? Do you remember? Do you remember what you offered for last week? If not, I can give it.
Yeah,
you know,
okay. Because
I'm going to take the masculine role here. I'm going to give you the feminine role. You sit back.
All right,
and
I'll relax.
From last week's winner, and it's good that I'm always thinking on my toes, for last week's winner, what they're going to receive, once I announce the winner, is a free 3-card Cosmic Energy Soul reading. And our winner from last week is Denise G. Haney. I think I said her last name right, Hanney. So Denise G. Haney, you are the winner of a 3-card Cosmic Energy Soul reading. Feel free to reach out to me. I will also message you as well, so you can redeem your 3-card reading. Really excited to offer that for you. And with that being said, Nathad, let them know how they can reach you, because we need to take another commercial break.
Absolutely. So you can reach me at my email address is info@mysticwarrioracademy.com or www.mysticwarrioracademy.com.
Excellent. So with all that being said, we are going to take another commercial break, but when I'll be coming back for the conclusion of our show, Natat's going to be back with us, not next Sunday, but the Sunday after. So he'll get a week to just sort of breathe. And then we're going to have our fourth time together 2 weeks from today. So let's take that commercial break and I'll be right back.
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Natan Bradbury. I'm a veteran, Kabbalist, mystic, coach, and spiritual mentor. I have been blessed to help many students on their spiritual journey over the last 20 years. I am currently the founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy, and what we're doing is we're helping veterans heal from the inside out, overcome any sort of emotional trauma that they've been through. So if you're a veteran, a therapist, or a coach, and are interested in learning more about our program, you can contact us directly at info@mysticwarrioracademy.com. Blessings.
Are you curious to know what's in store for you in the cosmic world? Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, and cosmic energy reader. And I've created a 6-month, 3-card cosmic forecast with you in mind. Each card features your sun, moon, and rising sign. To learn more, email healingwithin76@gmail.com. I do look forward to sharing insight, inspiration, and intuition with you. Each monthly forecast can be redeemed via email, video, or Zoom. Email healingwithin76@gmail.com. Mention this ad and receive a special rate. Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. And I want to remind you to definitely go and watch us on either Roku, YouTube, or come back and watch on Strong Island Television because you missed a great show. And if you missed today's show, chances are you probably missed the last 2 weeks. So watch all 3 as a marathon. So with all that being said, I want to go ahead and shout out to all those who are offering such amazing promotions right now, because I do believe every one of us do offer some amazing things, and why not get highlighted for it? So we're going to start off with CJ Ives Lopez. She's the host of the Author's Porch, and she's, as I said earlier in my introduction, she is also the host of the Author's Porch magazine. So you definitely want to reach out to her. And then we also have one of our newest sponsors, promotions. Oh, I'm on the wrong flyer. Hello, where am I? Boop, 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 boop. Here we go. We have the Accurate, Authentic, Sincere readings by Cinnamon, Certified Master Tarot Reader. Now, let me tell you, she is amazing, amazing, amazing. If you've never had a tarot card reading, or you've had, you definitely need to reach out to her because not only is she a great reader, but she's funny as hell. Then we have Alive Health Solutions. Are you frustrated with the lack of answers and productivity? Reach out to Gabriella. Excuse me. Oh yeah, let's have a cough attack now. Then we also have Spirit Messages by Joe Monkman. He has this amazing program Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Runs for about a little over an hour. And you can definitely check him out. There's a flyer there with a Zoom link and very low investment to join him. It meets every week. He connects with spirit, and then he also does private readings as well. And last but not least, we have the Chakra Balance Reiki Circle. that's taking place the last Sunday of this month. It is now the third circle that's being held here, right here at the studio in Holistic Fitness. To reserve your spot, please email healingwithin76@gmail.com, or you can also call 646-236-9155. With all that being said, I'd like to wish you an awesome rest of the week. Remember, Uranus goes retrograde this week on the 18th to 19th, depending on your time zone. And next Sunday, we have an amazing full moon in Aquarius, which we'll talk about next week. I'm going to go before I have a cough attack. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye for now.